Looks like tomorrow we're finally getting the summer set. Here is on screen, and honestly, the cosmetic actually looks pretty good. The outfit has a clean summer vibe, and I think it's one of the better looking cosmetics we've had so far. Are you guys planning to get it, or are you skipping this one? You can also see the flying artifact here. I think this is the one I saw in one of their Facebook posts. My memory isn't the best though, so I could be wrong. Either way, it actually looks pretty clean. If you're planning to pick up the summer set, you can grab this one as well. Now let's get into the main part, the abilities or skills, whatever you prefer to call them. This isn't meant to be a complete guide or anything like that. I'm just showing you the setup I'm currently using on my character and the skills I've decided to run. There are plenty of different combinations depending on your playstyle, progression, and what content you're focusing on, so don't take this as the only correct build. This is simply the setup I've been using because it feels comfortable for me and fits the way I like to play. If you're looking for ideas or wondering what my current build looks like, here it is. Feel free to try something similar or make a few changes to match your own playstyle. At the end of the day, the best build is the one that works well for you and helps you enjoy the game. Here you can see I'm running 4 Shun Xiao and 2 Live Fire. There's actually a reason why I decided to go with this setup, but I'll explain that in just a moment. Right now, I just want to show you exactly what I'm using so you don't get confused later on. You can also see all of my unlocked skills here. If you're following the Thunder path like I am, you can also run a 5 Thunder setup instead, and that's a really solid choice as well. If you're playing a different path, just follow the same idea. For example, if you're on the Fire path, you can use 4 Live Fire instead. The concept stays exactly the same. You just match the skill set to the path you're playing. This is simply the setup I've been using, and it's been working really well for my current build. Now let's take a look at the buffs you get with this build, because this is probably the most important part. As you can see, whenever I equip abilities with the same name, I get an extra base effect. If I decided to go with a full Thunder setup, I think I'd still only get 1 base effect, which is exactly what I mentioned earlier. That's the main reason I didn't go all in on Thunder. Instead, I chose to use 2 Live Fire abilities. By doing that, I unlock an additional base effect, and you can clearly see the extra buff right here. It's honestly a pretty big damage increase, so I don't think it's something you should ignore. Each matching ability gives a 4% damage bonus, and once those bonuses stack together, it makes a noticeable difference. So if you're building your skills, I'd recommend going with 4 abilities from your main path and 2 abilities from another path under the same name. That way, you can activate both base effects and get the extra damage bonus instead of missing out on free stats. That's the whole reason I'm using this setup on my build. Another thing I want to mention is your skill upgrades, because I see a lot of players making this mistake, especially when they're just starting out. Try to focus on upgrading the main skills that you're actually using instead of spreading your resources across every single skill you unlock. Those upgrade materials might seem easy to get at first, but later on you'll realize they're much more valuable than you thought. Now, if you happen to get extra copies of a skill from the gacha, then that's completely fine. Go ahead and use those copies to upgrade the skill since you got them naturally. What I'm talking about is spending your coupons or other exchange currencies. I really wouldn't recommend using those on skills that you never plan to use. It's much better to save those resources and invest them into the skills that are actually part of your build. That way, every resource you spend is giving you value instead of sitting on a skill you'll probably never equip. It might not seem like a big deal early on, but once you get further into the game, you'll definitely notice the difference. Resources become harder to replace, and you'll be glad you save them for the skills you use every day. So before spending any exchange currency, think about whether that skill is actually part of your build or if it's just going to stay unused. A little patience here can save you a lot of resources later, and in my opinion, it's one of the easiest ways to make your account progress more efficiently. And that's all for today's video. I'm definitely not a pro player, so if I got something wrong or missed anything, just let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one.